So I'm going to go live. Going live. Okay. I think we are now live. Sorry folks, I'm having some technical issues tonight for some reason. I'm not really sure what is going on here, but I think things have stabilized. Let me get this going over here. Okay, I think we are up. Although I seem to be having some signal issues. So well, I'm not sure what's going on here. Anyway, if you guys can hear me, somebody send me a chat and let me know you can hear me, because I think I am live. I'm not sure. I'm getting some weird signals though, so I'm not sure if my bandwidth seems to be all over the map right now. So I'm not really sure if I'm coming through or not. Boy, for some reason my bandwidth is all over the map. It's up, it's down, it's up, it's down. I'm not sure why that's occurring. I was out here last night for a good half an hour and everything worked really well, and suddenly tonight everything is crashing and coming back. So well, if you can hear me, let me know. I don't know if you can hear me or not. Yeah, for some reason my bandwidth is all over the map right now. I'm not sure if I'm even broadcasting. So, okay, well, I'm going to plug on ahead, and as if you can hear me. I'm not sure that you can or not. My bandwidth is plunging all down to zero and up and down and up. I don't know what is happening with it. But anyway, I'm gonna forge on ahead and assume that you guys can hear me, and if you can, send me a little message in the YouTube chat and let me know. So, and in any event, I'm gonna proceed on forward as if you can hear me. So, tonight we are good evening from the Death Valley region. It turns out to be a gorgeous night this evening, and so we're in for hopefully a nice treat to see a few things here. And as I said, we were going to do the Cloudy Nights December Observers Challenge, and pick a few of the targets from there, hopefully do even all of them, and then we'll see where we go from there. Let me bring that up, in fact, so we can bring it up here and go to Cloudy Nights and the Observers Challenge. Okay, here we go. And so here's a few of the events of the objects that we'll be seeing tonight. And we start off with Mars. And I also in Stellarium, I've created a bookmarks list of all the objects, so that we can actually, I'm just going to highlight them all so that we can just go from one to the other. And Mars will be first, so let's okay. The mount stopped responding. Oh dear. Okay, it looks like it is going to be one of those nights. This says it's connected. Okay. This says it's connected, but alright, let's see if it'll take us there. Hopefully it reconnected successfully. That looks like a pretty bright object there, so Alright, hopefully that'll do it. Okay, well, there's Mars. We'll kind of get it centered in. Now, unfortunately, I don't really have a setup that is... My setup is designed for solar system objects, so it doesn't do very good on planets. Oh, and I guess I should start from the beginning here and start off with an apology and apologize for not viewing Saturn and Jupiter, as many of you have probably figured out already. It's the Saturn and Jupiter, the Great Conjunction, sets about 6 or 6:30, and so by 8:30 they are long gone, and I completely forgot that when I said that in my announcement this morning. So apologize for that, but obviously we will not be seeing Saturn and Jupiter because they set about 2.5 hours ago. We'll have to save that for some of that stuff, and if you want to see some of that, please just shoot me a message and let me know, and I can give you the link to a friend of mine, Gary Hawkins, is going to be doing the planets on, I believe, Sunday night, possibly Monday night, on YouTube as well. And so I'll send you his link, and we'll see. You can see them from San Diego, where he is. I'm going to try and bring Mars in a little bit here. I have to really bring the exposure down. Not sure that we're going to be able to see a whole lot, but hopefully we can see a little bit of Mars here. Yeah, you can see how pixelated it is. Again, I'm not set up for high resolution, high magnification, and that's where that's what you really need to do with planets. So probably not going to be able to see a whole lot here, but let's see if I can dim it down enough to even see a little bit of that. Yeah, there we go. We're starting to get a little bit of a sort of a Mars color there, but it's going to be, you can see all the pixels in here. My setup really is not designed for planets, so it can do planets, but it does them pretty poorly. So we're not going to be able to see a whole lot more than that. And I hope everybody's hearing me okay. But I apologize, for some reason my bandwidth is all over the map tonight. Typically I have pretty solid bandwidth to do my streaming, and tonight for some reason it is all over the map. It's crashing down to 0, it's coming back, it's crashing down, it's all over the place. So hopefully you can hear me okay, and hopefully you're not experiencing too much buffering on this. But for some reason the bandwidth is just going crazy on me here, and I'm not really sure why tonight it is doing that. But anyway, so there's about all you're going to get. But that is our nearest neighbor there. So, but let's move on to something a little more interesting for us, at least what my scope can do. And let's go to NGC 514. Now this is actually going to be a supernova that we're going to look at right now. This is a supernova that's next to a galaxy, and so we are going to check out a supernova that's right next to a galaxy called NGC 514. And let's see if we can stretch this to bring it in. And not really seeing much of anything there. Okay. Oh. Would really help if I had my gain up. That would help actually a whole lot. Okay, let's see if that does any better. Okay, I think this is a galaxy right in here, if I'm correct. I'm not seeing it. Let's try 8 seconds and see if I can see it then. Should at least see a little bit of something here. Hey Scott, good evening to you. Hopefully you can hear me okay. My bandwidth tonight is kind of all over the map, so hopefully you guys aren't experiencing a bunch of buffering and stuff, but let me know if you're experiencing any issues out there. And there is the galaxy right there. Right in that little spot right there is where it is. So I'm going to, it's right about in there, so I'm going to move this just a little bit over to center it up a little bit better in my view. Just kind of bring it into the center. Yeah, and we'll try that. Reset that. Put this back to the correct dark. I'm already running the correct flats, so those are good. This has been reset, so let's see. Let's start a stack on this and see what we see here. And I'm running about 32-second subs, 32-second sub exposures. So, okay, and last frame 1.6 seconds. All right. Did that. Okay, I should have seen a sub exposure show up here by now. One ignored. Why is it being ignored? Okay, why is it? Stack. Okay, what is happening here? I don't know why that did not show up before. Oh well, I guess I just had a having all kinds of little technical problems tonight. So my my technical woes do not seem to have ended. Well, we'll make the best of it. Alright, you can go away, and you can go away. Alright, and let's do a little bit of a color balance here. And see where we get to. There we go. Balance the colors a little bit. Alright, what we can see here now is we can see, no, wrong way. There we go. So right in here we've got the galaxy. And this is NGC 514 that's right in here. And in fact, I need to put, well, I'm not sure what this is out here. Some sort of streak of color out here. I don't know what that is. I'm gonna go put the light shield. I forgot to put the light shield on the end of the scope. Be right back. I'm gonna put that on. Okay. In fact, I am going to reset this stack. I'm going to clear this and start it over again because I'm not sure what that piece of light there is. but it seemed to have some piece of light pollution in there somehow. I'm not sure where it came from, but anyway. Let's get a new frame going in here. There we go. Boy, it is still there. I have no idea what this is. Huh. Wonder if I'm picking up some piece of stray light from somewhere or something. I'm not sure. But let's make sure you're alive. Okay. But this is Galaxy NGC 514. It's right in here that we're looking at. And I believe this right here is a supernova that we are seeing. Let's look at the picture, because they had a pretty good picture of it in here. It's right there. Oh, so it's the inner one. Okay, so it's this right here. That little dot right there is a supernova. It's that one right there. That little dot right there is actually a supernova in this galaxy that was discovered this past summer, I believe, by a group in San Diego, who searches for supernovas. They scan the skies for supernovas, and they found it this, I believe it was this summer, and so this is right there is the supernova. And I think I forgot to set some things here. I need to set you, I need to set you, and I need to set you. Yeah, we're doing all good there. Okay. But that right there is a supernova. That little star right there. That was not there before this summer. And so it's pretty cool. I mean, there are folks who just scan the skies for these minuscule supernovas in other galaxies. And it's pretty amazing, but that right there is a supernova. Hey Scott, if you're still there, why don't you let me know if you can hear me okay, and if you guys are experiencing any buffering out there. I seem to be having some bandwidth issues tonight. I'm not sure why, but just weirdness going on tonight. I'm not sure what. Okay, this is coming along nicely though. Not every day you see a supernova. And I don't know how far away NGC 514 is, but I want to look it up on Wikipedia, see if Wikipedia... Actually, you know what? I can actually just look it up. Redshift size, blah, 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 blah. So, oh, no. Stellarium doesn't have it. Let's see if Wikipedia. Intermediate spiral galaxy. It's a distance. It's located approximately 83 million light years from the Milky Way. Okay, so 83 million light years away. So this supernova, which we just saw happen this summer, actually occurred 83 million years ago. And we are just seeing it now because it took the light that long to get here. as we get a few more sub exposures in, this will clean up a little bit better. And I may actually even want to check my focus. Yeah, I think it's going pretty good. Just seems a little bit blurry, like maybe I want to check my focus. Check my focus again. It was good a little bit ago, but... And now my mount is not responding. Dropping connection. Well, seems to be okay for the moment. As long as it holds on. As long as it reconnects. It's interesting, last night I was out here testing everything for a little while, streaming and running the mount and all that stuff, and not a single problem. Tonight I seem to be having a small host of problems, so I guess that's the deal when dealing with technology. You never know what it's going to be doing. Not sure why it keeps dropping, but as long as long as I can get it back, that works for me. Yeah, it's just everything just seems a little bit blurry tonight, so I think I'm going to need to check my focus. So we'll get a couple of more frames in here, and then I'll go to slew over to a bright star, and then we'll check the focus real quick and make sure I've got decent focus, and keep moving, because I should be seeing that galaxy with a little bit more clarity than that. Let's try brightening things up a little bit. Not quite so much. You guys can see it a little better. I need to make sure things are pretty bright for you guys, because what I see on my screen is always quite a bit brighter than what comes across on the live stream. So there's also a good 20 or 30 second delay between what I'm seeing and what you're seeing. So that is a supernova right there. That right there is a supernova that happened about 83 million years ago, because this galaxy is 83 million light years away. So we just noticed it this summer, but it happened for them a long time ago. Alright, so that's pretty cool. That's a supernova, and I really don't know what this is over here. This is pretty interesting. I've never seen that kind of thing before. I don't know what that is. We'll see if it stays there when I go to my next target. Okay, let's turn the live stacking off here, and I am going to go and slew to a bright star in the area, and let's see, where am I going next? Where are my next targets? My next targets are over here. Yeah, in fact, right next to Capella. So why don't we just go to Capella? No, Capella, not some satellite. Select Capella. We'll go over to Capella and send the scope. And we'll center up on that star and check our focus, because I think I'm a little bit out on the focus. Boom, and there it is, nice and bright. Okay, let's move you, center you up a little bit better. You're pretty close, but let's just bring you in a little bit closer. There you go. That's probably going to be pretty good. And we'll synchronize you on that. And now let's get rid of those and zoom in on it and put some focus on it. So I'm going to put the Batinov mask on it, so you'll see a pattern show up there. And check the focus. I'll be right back. Okay, looks like it wasn't out by too much, just a tiny bit actually. Okay, so let's go to our next target, which is the Northern Trifid Nebula. Okay. Alright, send the scope there, and we'll check it out. The northern, the regular Trifid Nebula is in the constellation of Sagittarius. It's usually a summer star. Oh yeah, there it is right there. Big as day, very good. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And put this back. Make sure we get a good picture from this first one. And we'll just start the stack, clear this. And there we are. So the Northern Trifid Nebula. Now the regular Trifid Nebula, like I said, is in the constellation of Sagittarius, and it's a summer constellation. So this is the Northern Trifid Nebula. And the Trifid Nebula gets its name from the fact that it's kind of split into 3 different lobes, and so that's how it got its name Trifid. And so this one, I'm assuming, is going to be same sort of thing, maybe in 3 separate segments or something. So 3 separate parts or lobes or segments or something. But we'll have to see as it comes in here. what it looks like. And what else is it called? NGC 1579. Well, that's what it looks like in the Planetarium. Distance. It's 6,500 light years away. NGC 1579. Let's see what Wikipedia has to say. NGC 1579. Okay. There's a diffuse nebula located in Perseus. It's the northern Trifid because of its similar appearance to the Trifid Nebula, which is the summer nebula that we can see in Sagittarius, which is located in southern celestial hemisphere of the sky. It's a region of star formation. It's in a giant molecular cloud known as the California Molecular Cloud. Well, I guess that's why I can see it so well, because I'm seeing it from California. Well, there you go. Hey Curtis, good evening to you. 533 is doing very nice. I still like the camera a lot. I've been having other technical problems this month, but the camera has not been one of them, so I'm really liking it a lot. It seems to be doing a pretty good job on the northern Trifid Nebula right now. And for the moment, my bandwidth seems to be solid again. But it's been really weird tonight. It's been up and down and up and down and up and down. I'm not really sure why, but I guess you guys can hear me okay and see me okay. I know early on things like looking like they were going to be a little iffy tonight. But now these things seem to have settled down. I'm still losing connectivity to my mount every now and again, but eventually reconnect, so as long as it continues to reconnect, we're in business. Northern Trifid Nebula. It's about the same distance too as the regular Trifid, because I think the regular Trifid is only 4,000 or 5,000 light years away. This one is 6,500, which may be why it's a bit smaller, but it may just be a smaller nebula anyway. But it's coming in pretty nice. Whatever that red smudge was on the left-hand side of the view that we were seeing earlier does seem to have disappeared. So oh, no, that's not what I meant. That's not what I meant to look at. You seem to be percolating along just fine. I'm getting a bit of a black band over here, which would indicate it's kind of moving in relation to the but the view is moving a little bit, like the tracking is slightly off perhaps, but so far so good. Looks like we have the nebulosity actually looks like it extends out here. This looks like there's a little bit more nebulosity out here on this star up here. See if any of that is in Stellarium. Yeah, there it is right there. This view is, well, see, we're kind of sideways right now, but this is So this must be the part of the molecular cloud, the California molecular cloud. And this star is also illuminating part of it, which is creating a bit of a halo or nebulosity around it. It's coming in kind of nice. Yeah, you can definitely see this. There's other. I think I just had my mic muted accidentally, but there's other little, some fuzz in here around a lot of these stars. A lot of these stars are lighting up some nebulosity. So I think it's not just this one, but some of these others are as well. So obviously lighting up some of those gases that are in there in that star forming region, making it glow. Some of those are probably stars that were created in this nebula, and are now just starting to move out on their own. my bandwidth seems to have stabilized. So I'm not sure if my ISP was having issues or what, but everything seems to have stabilized now, so that's good news. I will hopefully be able to keep live streaming then. Yeah, Tara, I just got your text about not being able to hear me. That's because I have my mic muted accidentally here. So I have a feeling you can hear me now. So that was not a technical problem. It was a operator error. But this is coming in pretty nicely. It's coming in pretty nicely. Not bad for a little nebula 83 million light years away. And the more sub-exposures we get, the better it looks, but we've been about 12 minutes. That's usually how I let things go, about 12 minutes or so, 10, 12 minutes. And tends to clean things up pretty well. And where are we going to go from here? The northern Trifid, and then we go down to this one. HRP 24. 244.76. Let's go take a look and see what that is. I don't see that at all. Well, we'll find out about why. It's apparently Stellarium uses a different name for it. So. But anyway, there is the Northern Trifid Nebula. That's the first time I've ever seen that. Definitely has some lobe structure in there. So I think this is why its original discoverers thought it looked like the regular Trifid Nebula, which is a bit brighter, bigger, and brighter and closer. But you know, definitely some nice dark dust lanes in there. Some nice structure in some of the stars and surrounding stars. Lighting up the nebulosity, lighting up the gases that they probably just formed from as they begin to spread out and move out into the galaxy, being all newly born and all that. Northern Trifid Nebula. Okay. Good one. Alright, let's move on to the next item, which would be this one. Oh, no, I know what this one is. Yeah. Well, what the heck? Let's just go to it. This is one of the challenge. This one here would be a comet. This is going to be a comet. So, let's see. This could be a little bit of a challenge to see. This is a comet that's in our skies right now. And so we're just going to have to see if we can zoom in here and see an actual comet in here. That's an interesting fuzzy bit there. But let's go. I can actually go to a comet. Look at it. C 2020 M3. The sky live. I think this is where I was able to see it. It's going to be in this view. I picked a star that was very near it. Waiting for Google. Why are we waiting for Google? Is Google taking a coffee break? It's going to be in here somewhere. Now this looks like a fuzzy spot here. So it could be in there, but well, you know what? Let's just stack on some of this. Reset that, and let's just see if we can see it. Clear out the northern Trifid and stack on it a little bit. Okay, let's try clicking this again. Huh. Hi, Al from Arizona. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. You know, I think this might be it, actually. I think this probably is it. This fuzzy thing right here, I think is probably the comet. Huh. And this site is just endlessly hourglassing. Okay, let's try this one. There we go. Now, in Auriga, yeah, I'm afraid that one's not going to be a whole lot of help. I think this is it. It's the only fuzzy looking spot in here, so I think this is it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that is it, yeah. So it's this spot right there. It's actually a comet. Because all the other ones are clearly stars. So, that was a good map in that one. But I'm pretty sure this is it. This is the comet. And the fuzz that you're seeing around this is actually the tail of the comet. The gas is spitting off behind it. So I am pretty sure that is the comet right there. Because everything else is looking very star-like. So that has got to be it. You can see it's all aglow around. It's almost looking like a very small point nebula. But you know, it is actually a comet. And so this spot right there is moving every night. And it's moved, it was in Orion last month, and it's moved all the way up into Auriga now. And so it was down here in Orion last month, and it has moved all the way up. And it came right by Elnath, and now it's cruising right through here, and it's going to go right by Capella. Very bright star in our sky. It's eastern, but pretty high in the sky right now. And it's going to just keep on motoring, and then I think head back down over the spring. But that right there is a comet, and each night it's moving. Going through a pretty good star field right now, but and if we were to look at this tomorrow night, it would be in a slightly different spot. Not very exciting because its tail is kind of either pointed right at us or right away from us. Probably right away from us. And so all you really see is the outer glow of the tail as it's spewing away from us, probably. So not a big exciting tail like we had a few months ago, but still pretty cool. Something in our solar system showing up in a star field of our galaxy's stars. Hi Edie, good to see you. Thanks for stopping by. We're looking at a comet right now. Just what you can see of one. I suppose maybe this could be a little bit of a tail behind it, but I think we don't see a whole lot of a tail. I think we're just seeing basically mostly the comet itself, the core, the nucleus of the comet itself. And the tail is mostly pointed away from us, I think. But it's in a nice ocean of stars here. You can almost see when you back off like this, you can see it's almost this bluish greenish color in comparison to the rest of the stars. Let me see if I can clean it up a little bit more. Darken that sky background a little bit. Push it out a little bit. I think we're going to be okay. Yeah, that'll work. Yeah, you can see it's kind of its glow here as it's spewing out all of its material. It's a pretty thick band of stars here too. Yeah, we're right in the you can see the Milky Way right in through here. Right in through here, the whole Milky Way. So we're kind of in the heart of the Milky Way, which goes right through Auriga. So it's that's why we've got such a rich background of stars, is because we're right in the arm of the Milky Way. It's traveling right through the arm of the Milky Way from our point of view. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, Edie, it's the skies are pretty nice tonight. It's been, although this is the only night I've been able to come out and live stream. It's been windy, it's been cloudy, it's been this, it's been that, or just my schedule didn't work. But tonight, everything, all the planets as it were aligned, and everything came together. So I'm happy to be out. This is really the last night I can of this dark of the moon cycle, because starting tomorrow night, the moon is starting to set later and later. So tomorrow night it doesn't set till 10 o'clock. Tonight it was 9, and it just gets later from there. And so I luckily got one in this month, which is nice. I'm glad that happened. Glad to get at least one. But there it is. So there's Comet 2020 M3, or C2020 M3, as it's cruising through Auriga right now. Tomorrow night it'll be in a different spot. Alright. So I think we can move on to our next target here. And who do we have up here next? The Monkey Head Nebula. Okay. I think the Monkey Head will be next. Yep. Okay, the Monkey Head Nebula. Boink. Let's go see the Monkey Head. Let's see if we can pick this up well enough. Yeah, it's a good size. It's about the right size for us, so this fits the size of my sensor pretty well. So yeah, you can see a little bit of fuzz here. So obviously a bright star there. 3 little stars on the forehead, which are probably up here. So yeah, let's just give it a shot right from here. I'll assume it's in the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now let's clear out Comet C2020 and bring in the monkey head. Oh yeah, that's coming in nicely. That's going to be a pretty one. That's going to be a pretty one. Let's see how far away this is. What's the name of it? It's NGC 2174. Let's see what we can see about this. NGC 2124. Alright, let's try searching for Monkey Head Nebula. Alright, let's see if it likes that better. Yeah, NGC 2174. Oh, 2174. I was typing in the wrong thing. Monkey is a hydrogen 2 emission nebula located in Orion. It is thought to be located about 6,400 light years away from Earth, so just about the same distance that the Northern Trifid Nebula was. The nebula may have formed through hierarchical collapse. Burnham Celestial Handbook lists the entire nebula as 217475. It does not mention the star cluster. The NGC project. Anyway. So about 6,400 light years away. And then may have formed through hierarchical collapse. Well, let's see what's hierarchical collapse. Star formation is the process by which dense regions within molecular clouds in interstellar space, sometimes referred to as stellar nurseries or star-forming regions, collapse and form stars. As a branch of astronomy, star formation includes the study of interstellar medium and giant molecular clouds. Okay. Well, I guess that they're saying that this is or was a star-forming area, and as the gases collapse, they make stars. Makes sense to me. Definitely a pretty one. Got a nice row of 3 stars up here. And here it looks. Yeah, okay, I think this is the monkey's mouth right here. This is kind of the monkey's mouth. His nose, maybe his eyes are here. Come on, mouse, work. Mouse doesn't like the cold either. Huh. It's a pretty one, though. Got some nice colors in it. As we get more sub-exposures in, some of these darker lanes will clean up and darken up. Maybe get a little sharper. Okay. Definitely nice. Trying to see here, because I'm getting some black banding here, which is something I don't normally get. And usually that means that the mount is drifting somewhat on the target. I don't usually get that kind of thing, so I'm kind of surprised that I'm seeing it. So this drift graph here tells me how far it has moved in relation to where it started. 30 pixels. So it's definitely moving a little bit. But well, maybe it's time to check the polar alignment on it again. Polar alignment might be slightly off. I have a permanent pier set up here with the, so it just stays outside all the time and stays polar aligned. But I guess from time to time maybe it should be checked. Definitely a pretty one. The monkey head. Thanks, Al. Yeah, I do like the 533 a lot. It's a nice matchup with the 6-inch imaging newt I'm using. The 600mm focal length is a nice matchup for the pixel size and sensor size of the camera. So it's gives me very good sensitivity and good resolution on targets. So you can see plenty of detail. even when you zoom in and whatnot, you can still see a lot of good detail. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. I'm pretty darn happy with it. Different pockets of gases and things in there. That looks pretty good. Cool. Well, there's the monkey head. Alright. Well, that's probably the best thing so far tonight. Let's see what we can see next. Okay. Monkey head nebula has been seen. Who's next? I guess it doesn't matter. Let's do Casper the Friendly Ghost Nebula, which is right next to Orion. So what do we got here? I got like 1, 2, 3. Looks like 3 targets left. So we get done with these, we'll try and pick up Horsehead and the Flame, which are right around AltAz here. So let's do the Christmas tree cluster next. So let's go to the Christmas tree cluster, 2264. NGC 2264. Yeah, quite a little cluster of stars in there. Alright, well, definitely one bright one. Well, it looks like that bright star is kind of the middle, so let's just move it slightly into the picture a little bit more. Yeah, that's probably about right. Good. And we'll synchronize on that spot. And let's set this back. And close out the monkey head. This one will be obviously a bit smaller and fainter. Well, actually, no, not smaller. Depends on how much of it we can see. Let's see how much of it we can see with our camera. Oh, looks like we got a satellite buzzing through. Looks like we got a satellite buzzing through here. But we definitely have some goodness going on. Yeah, you can see stuff all the way up into here. Star cluster with nebulosity. Definitely some pretty stuff in here. What was it, 2264? Yes. UGC 2264 is a designation number by the identifies the Cone Nebula and the Christmas tree cluster together. Two other objects are within this designation but not officially included: the Snowflake cluster and the Fox Fir Nebula. All the objects are located in Monoceros constellation and are located about 800 parsecs or 2,600 light years from Earth. Okay, so all of these things have formed in this emission nebula. Visible by the naked eye due to the lack of colossal stars. The Snowflake cluster due to its pin-like, pinwheel-like shape. Okay, yeah, so, and the Cone Nebula is in here, so once we have a bit more detail, we'll be able to look and see some of that. Yeah, I believe this is the Cone Nebula right down here. And as we get more sub-exposures in, we'll be able to see that a little cleaner. You can see got a streak of a satellite went right through. Right through our exposure. Let's see how we're doing here. That's about right. Let me check the colors there. Yeah, it's about right. I guess the blue could go down a little bit. Tink. Yeah, you can see all kinds of dark lanes in here and dark stuff going on, but I'm pretty sure this is the Cone Nebula down here. Yeah, this here, that's the cone, right there. So that is exactly what we're seeing here. And as we get some more sub-exposures in and that dark part darkens a little bit there, the cone will form a little bit better. Let me go full screen. See it a little bit better maybe. I guess the Christmas tree cluster is kind of clear there, huh? Bottom of the tree and the point of the tree and the star at the top. Yeah, and the Cone Nebula, you can see it's starting to come in now. Starting to clear up a little bit. broadcast in there. Again, because we're so close to Orion, we're in a thick star field because we're in the arm of the Milky Way. So, this is all out here is the thick star field of the arm of the Milky Way out here. And where the stars disappear is all dark gas and dust. That's part of this cloud, part of this star-forming region. This whole complex of stars and whatnot. Trying to make sure that I get it kind of centered on there. Let's make it so that you guys can see it pretty well, but there's like a 20-second or something lag between what I do and what actually shows up on the stream. So yeah, see right now it's a little too low. But we can see the Christmas tree and you can see the cone, so. And the satellite that's streaked through the bottom part of this. Having a hard time using my mouse because my out here in this cold, dry air, my fingers are so dry I can't even spin my trackball. The cold makes it hard to turn, and my skin is so dry I can't even move it. The Cone Nebula started to come in pretty well. This cone shape right here. Just make it out in here. Christmas tree cluster with its nice bright star on top. It's another pretty one. It's another pretty one. Very cool. Alright, so we put a good 11 minutes into that one. I think that's about good for the now. Let's go on to our next target, which is going to be, that one there, which is, you never really worked anyway. Nebula, Mars, M7. UGC 2170. Okay. Let's zip on over to the 2170. Oh, this is our other challenging object. Let's see. Let's get ourselves shrunk down to be screen size here. I think this is a galaxy. I think that's it. Oh! Wrong button. Okay. 2170. Well, let's take a look. Boom. Whoa. Oh, it's a reflection nebula. It's another nebula. Whoa, that's kind of a cool looking one. Alright. Yeah, it should be... Yeah, okay, so this is going to be it. Alright, good. Let's just crank it up. And we'll put this back. And we'll start the live stack. And we'll clear the Christmas tree nebula. And start in on this one. Mon R2IRS3. Not much of a friendly, familiar name there, but yeah, well, this is going to be it. Kind of got it in the upper right corner, upper left corner, but that's okay. Let this bring in a few sub-exposures and we'll see what we can see here. This was one of the two challenge objects. The comet was one of them. We got to see that one. This one is the other challenge object, so definitely see some nebulosity coming in though. Some of the darker yellowy brownish down here, and the more of the bluish grayish in the other two zones. So yeah, I see kind of this yellowish brownish stuff here. What we're getting there. Down in here. Kind of a faint one. What is the surface brightness on this? 10.7. Mag 10, 10.7. Yeah. As that sky background starts to darken, be able to pick things up a little bit better. Let's see. It's definitely a bit fainter. Let's push this out a little bit that way. That might be a little too much. We'll see how that comes out. That might actually look okay for you guys. I have to wait and see how it actually shows up on the when I see it on this live stream, which is about a 20-second delay. Yeah, definitely a fainter object. It doesn't really jump out at us like the monkey head did or the Christmas tree did. Let's go ahead and put this back and try putting this. Try stretching aggressively here. It probably will look a little bit better. Yeah, you can see a little bit more of the. You can see a little bit more of the shape down here. Some of the darker dust region down there, and some of the darker dust region shapes here. Starting to see some shapes forming in here. Some pockets of the darker stuff. Yeah, that looks like you guys can see it better now. Oh, another, there we go, down through the left corner there. Got another satellite showing up. We got so much space junk up there. And now Elon Musk wants to put another 30,000 satellites or something up there to give everybody a satellite-based internet. That will make astronomy virtually impossible. But there goes that comet right there, that satellite right through there. Zip. Yeah, but as we get more sub-exposures in, starting to see more detail in this. I like how it's different colors in different regions. I like the kind of the yellow, the ruddy yellow section, and then the other blue sections, bluish purplish section there. That's pretty cool. Definitely a fainter one. But still getting a little detail in it though. probably take some time to suss out all the detail in this. All the different colors are pretty cool though. I don't get that much color in with my little camera, but definitely see this yellowish, ruddyish region. Or push it even a little bit more. Edie, yes, I did talk earlier about the Saturn-Jupiter conjunction, and basically all I offered was an apology because I forgot when I sent out my notice this morning, my announcement, that Jupiter and Saturn set about 6 or 6:30. And obviously I wasn't starting tonight till 8:30 because the moon didn't set till 9, and so Saturn and Jupiter were long gone before I ever got started tonight. And so yeah, sorry about that. I didn't even think of that when I wrote it in the announcement this morning about Saturn and Jupiter, that really wouldn't be able to see it at all tonight because it would have set long before I ever got started tonight. So yeah, if you want to get out and see the conjunction live, you got to go out about 5:30 your time, or so if you have low horizons, you can go out even as late as 6 or a little bit after. But for most people who have trees and houses and other obstacles and have a higher horizon, you kind of need to be out there by 5 or 5:30 or so, and looking at them. And Monday night is going to be the actual conjunction when they're the closest together. But I'm not. My setup really isn't good for doing the planets, so I don't think I'm going to do anything for it. It's a lot of setup for me just to see one thing and then it's done, and there'll be so much moon in the sky that I won't be able to do a whole lot else. So I probably won't do anything myself. I have friends who are going to be doing setup. In fact, one of them, Gary Hawkins, is a friend of mine from Cloudy Nights, and he is a member of the San Diego Astronomy Association, and he will be doing a live stream on Monday night for the conjunction. And so if any of you guys want to see a live stream of that, just let me know in chat, and I can get you the link for it. But he has a telescope and a setup that's much better for doing planetary work. He has a Schmidt-Cassegrain telescope that has a much longer focal length, and so he can do much higher resolution stuff, which is much better for doing planets. My scope is a much shorter focal length, much faster focal ratio scope that's good for doing stuff like this. It's doing the faint fuzzy stuff and the larger objects, but when it comes to doing a smaller object, it doesn't do a very good job. So it's kind of not worth it for me to set up for it, because it's not a really satisfying view anyway. We did kind of look at Mars really quick earlier, but all it was basically a brown smudge, because my setup doesn't work that well for it. So yeah, I can definitely yeah, it's I'll send you the I'll send it to you in email, Edie. But yeah, he's going to be doing a presentation through the SDAA. He's going to be live streaming on YouTube as well, the conjunction, and he'll be seeing it through live streaming it through his scope, which will be better than mine would be for the task. So, all right, well, here's our challenge object. So I think it came out pretty well, given how faint it is and the disparate parts that it has. I think it came out pretty well. So, cool, cool. All right, let's stop this stack and go on to the next item, which I believe is Casper. Where are you? Yep, Casper. Casper, the Friendly Ghost Nebula. I have looked at this before, but not with this camera. So, oof, my mouse is hard to use in this cold. Yeah, there he is. Okay. Let's bring him down a little bit more to the center. A little bit too far. Bring you back a little bit. Come on. There we go. Boy, I went too far again. Darn it. And let that drift into the center a little. Okay, I think that's about drifted into where we want it to be, so let's fire that up and we'll see Casper here. Alright, and clear out that one. Maybe back things off a little bit here. A little less aggressive. And we'll see where we come in on this one. Casper, the Friendly Ghost. Yeah, this is kind of a mixture of things here. But it is kind of a cool one. Casper, the Friendly Ghost Nebula. And I've looked at this before, and I'm not really sure. I guess maybe this is Casper with his two eyes, and he's kind of peeking around a corner or something. I don't know. This one looks like a face too. The two eyes there and the eyebrows and a forehead. Maybe a chin there. No. Casper, the Friendly Ghost Nebula. Well, it's definitely that bottom one. nice dark lane in here, making some very distinct shapes. See how the histogram is doing. Yeah, not too bad. Push it a little more. Wikipedia. Oh, M78. Casper is a Messier object. So, Reflection Nebula in the constellation Orion was discovered by Pierre Marchand in 1780. It's the brightest diffuse reflection nebula of a group that includes NGCs 2064, 2067, and 2071. This group belongs to the Orion B molecular cloud complex and is about 1,350 light-years away. Involves two stars of 10th and 11th magnitude. These two B-type stars are responsible for making the cloud of dust in M78 visible by reflecting their light. Due to gravity, the molecular gas in the nebula has fragmented into a hierarchy of clumps, the denser cores of which are about to form stars, with masses of up to 5 m. About 45 variable stars of the T-Tauri type young stars still in the process of formation, as well as some Herbig-Haro objects are known in M78. So it's quite an active formation area. And you can see there's a bright gassy areas and dark areas, and You're welcome, Tara. Thank you for thanks to you and Scott for showing up. Good to have you here. Good to see you. And yeah, glad you enjoyed yourself. It's fun for me to be able to do this, at least when I'm not dealing with technical problems, which we had early on, but everything's smoothed out, and now it's been just a fine evening since the early hiccups. But yeah, good to see you. Glad you were here. I'm going to do just a couple more objects, including possibly the Orion Nebula, which is just a big spectacular thing to do, but that won't be till we're going to try to do a couple more things after this. This is kind of the end of the Observer's Challenge list, but we're so close to Orion, we're just right next door, then there's just some really nice stuff to do in Orion, so I'll take some quick peeks at 2 or 3 more things before calling it a night. But don't worry if you have to go for it. But don't forget, guys, it's these live streams just turn into regular YouTube videos, so you can always come back tomorrow or whenever later in the weekend and see what you missed at the end. So don't worry about it if you have to bail out. The video will be here for quite a while. Thanks for coming. And we'll just do a couple of more sub-exposures on this. But yeah, the dark parts of the nebula are really forming nicely now. Really showing some nice contrast, some depth and color. Yeah. Well, cool. That's a pretty nice one. Alright. Now, so we finished with that list. But there's a couple more things I want to do. We are so close to Orion right here. There's our big old Orion. And there's just some spectacular things to do. Obviously the big M42 down here. But even up here there's some nice stuff. So I want to go to do... Let's go down here and try and do Flame. Flame is a faint guy, but spectacular. So let's, yeah, there he is. So this is AltAz here, which is the very bright left-hand star of Orion's belt. And the Flame Nebula is right here off, right? You can see it right in there. It's right there off AltAz. And so the biggest challenge for being able to image flame is trying to get the image bright enough to see flame, but not so that you are getting blinded by AltAz. So let's get you popped over here. There you go. That's probably going to be about right. Okay, so this will be a bit of an experiment. Let's see. I'll try using the full exposure, but we may get blown out by AltAz. We'll have to see. Let's clear out Casper and back you off a little bit for the moment and see what we can see here for the Flame Nebula without having AltAz getting too blinding. We'll even see if we can get Horsehead in as well. Yeah, that's not too bad. But there is the flame. Oh, is that as far as we can go? Well, that's unfortunate. Yeah, let me actually... I want to reposition this because the Flame Nebula is right below it. And so I want to move that up. I want to move that up. Yeah, it's probably about right. That's probably about right. Okay. Do that again. Alright. Let's do that again. Out of the way. All right. I'm going to try this again. Yeah, there we go. Okay, we just barely caught the bottom, and there's Horsehead. Okay, good. So we managed to get them both. That's what I was hoping to do, is get them both in the same view. It looks like we did that. So let's see if we can build on these a little bit here over the next few minutes. But that's the challenge with this is a beautiful region in here because of all the different nebulae and the different colors, the red hydrogen areas, and the Flame Nebula is just gorgeous. And then you've got a lot of nebulosity around the other stars as well. The whole Orion complex is a rich star-forming region, which is why it's got such big, bright blue stars in it. Mostly it's young stars. And so it's really a cool region. But those bright blue, young, hot stars are just really blinding. So it can be a challenge to image things here simply because you've got such... Whoa! I don't know why that does that. Suddenly it just jumps out across your screen. Come on. It can be a real challenge to image stuff in here just because the stars themselves are so bright in this area. Okay, now what I was trying to do was get in here to... Yeah, actually it looks pretty good, so never mind. It can be a real challenge because the stars are so young, bright, and hot, but there's just so much going on in here that is just so cool. And and this is actually pretty cool. I have come in here and imaged this region before, but never been able to get both Flame and Horsehead in the same view. So this is the first time I've ever had a sensor big enough where I could do that. And So this is pretty cool. This is pretty darn cool. To get them both in the same view. Yeah, I'm going to agree with you, Al. It's pretty darn nice. And it just about fills my view too, so it's let me stretch it even a little bit more. Make it even a bit brighter for you guys. Because it definitely, the live stream definitely dims it. But this whole region of Orion is just a spectacular thing. The 533 does such a great job with picking everything up. Bright stuff, dark stuff. It really is a heck of a sensor. I've been told by those in the know that it's one of the best EAA sensors out right now, and I think that's true. It does a really spectacular job. It does a pretty darn nice job. Yeah, that's pretty good. Really actually doesn't even need a whole lot more than that. I'm going to dim it down a little bit for me, so because I'm actually going to capture this. So I'm going to calm it down a little bit so I can just take a snapshot. Exactly as seen. Nope. But that's pretty darn nice. Doesn't even need any more than that at all. That's about all it needs, just a couple of minutes there. Stuff is so bright and gorgeous in here. Okay. And last but certainly not least, is M42. Which is the big Orion Nebula, which is what I call big sexy. And this is the big sexy thing to be looking at in the wintertime. This is the big show. So let's get you over here more into the middle. There we go. That's better. this again is another thing that's might as well name this one. Didn't name the other one, but this is stupid thing does this. With this one, there aren't any big bright stars, but there definitely are some stars in the midst, and so it's getting everything. You see, this is just blown out too much. But it's just, why does this keep doing this? All of a sudden this thing is just jumping up across the entire screen. I don't know why it's doing this. Let's back this off a bit. Yeah, see, and the thing of it is, this is actually just too much. This is actually just 32 seconds is just, 32 seconds is wonderful for getting all of the outside stuff, but it completely blows out the core. But it is a spectacular region of the sky. Just a spectacular region of the sky. And this is kind of the big winter show. The Orion, the Great Orion Nebula, as it's called. Really, this is actually a little too big for my sensor, because you can get this one up top here, or you can get the one below here, but it's a little bit too big for my whole sensor to have them both on there. But anyway, you get the idea. Another very big, bright star-forming region. One of the biggest, brightest ones in the sky that we can see from Earth, and yeah, 32 seconds. Just it's too blown out. It's too much. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to stop the stack, and I'm actually going to bring it up, and we're just going to focus on M42, and we're going to ignore, I think it's M41, isn't it? I think it's a separate thing. Anyway, we're going to ignore the bottom part, and we're just going to look at the top part. Excuse me, other way around. We're going to ignore that one above and just focus on this one down here. We'll try it at 16 seconds. That still is probably going to be a bit too much, but we'll give it a shot. 16-second dark frame. Clear you out. Yeah. Much more modest. Of course, now the histogram is way out of adjustment. The core is much less blown out, but then you're also getting a bit less. You're also getting a bit less with the exterior, the stuff that's the extremes. So, but still pretty nice. It's a definite challenge to be able to see the whole object and to see it well, because in order to be able to see the pretty stuff on the outer part, all the wispy gas, brighten that up, all the wispy gas that's just goes out and reaches out forever and ever. You have to have the exposure really high or the gain really high, or you have to have, you know, the camera set to be really, really sensitive to get all the faint wispy gas that just seems to go on forever and ever around it. But when you do that, the core is, with those young, hot, new stars, is just so bright that it gets completely blown out. But so it's a great challenge to do. It's one of these large objects that has really bright zones and really faint zones. It's like trying to shoot the Andromeda Galaxy, which is our biggest, brightest galaxy in our sky and our closest neighbor. Its core is hugely bright, but its the outer reaches of its arms, which extend out quite a ways, are very faint. So again, you're kind of stuck between overexposing and using higher gain levels to see the outer faint reaches of the arms and the wispy stuff that's on the outside, and being able to see the core relatively well without having it completely blown out. So it's just an interesting challenge. And what most astrophotographers end up doing is shooting it at multiple different levels of exposure or multiple different levels of gain, and then compositing them all together. And it looks like we got a whole series of satellites moving through the picture. Yep, looks like we've got a bunch of satellites moving through. That's going to go right through and ruin the picture. Oh well. Anyway, this is why we do this live. Yeah, there's a bunch of satellites coming through the bottom part. But again, it's coming out pretty well, I think, all things considered. But this will be the last thing I do. I usually like finishing with Big Sexy. It's a good way to finish the night. There's actually a group of stars at the very core of this called the trapezium, which a lot of people use as a test for how good their optics are, to see how many stars you can see in the trapezium. But of course, in order for us to see all the wonderful wispiness in those nebulous clouds, the exposure has to be so high that that whole star region just gets blown out. So it just looks like a big blinding glowy spot to us right now. But oh, good, Al. Well, I hope you had a good session out there. Got cold, huh? Way down there in Arizona. Ah, do you get cold down there? Well, I know. Deserts get cold. It's actually been a really nice night here. They were saying we were going to have a little bit of breeze at least, and we've had none, which has just been wonderful. The lack of breeze, of course, allows it to get cool, but it allows the temperatures to drop more. But if it's not blowing on you, it's much easier to stay warm. think I'm about to call it a night myself. This has been fun, but I've been up for about 2.5 hours, so just about done. And probably won't be back again for a couple of weeks because now the moon takes over our sky. Like I said, I don't think I'm going to do anything for the Great Conjunction since my scope is not really designed for doing planetary work. But a friend of mine, Gary Hawkins, will be doing a live stream from the San Diego Astronomy Association on Monday night, and he does have a scope that's great for doing planetary work. So check out his channel here on YouTube, and he'll definitely show you a good time with the conjunction on Monday night. But I probably won't be back for a couple of weeks till the moon goes dark again, and we'll do some more of these winter fun things, which will be a lot of Orion stuff, because Orion's definitely a very cool dude in the wintertime. But anyway, I think I'm going to call it a night. So thank you everyone for joining. Thanks for coming out and spending a little time with me. It's been great doing this. And I'll see you in a couple of weeks. So I will end the stream. Thanks everyone. Hope you have a great night. Bye now. See you next time.